Hello, hello, hello. Um, yeah. So I'm going to talk to you guys about my journey. Well, a little bit about my journey because I can't even put all of that into a little short video. Um, I need some music. I like this song. Okay. So, hmm. I mean, if anybody who has known me before all of this, you'd they know, but nobody's really surprised at all these drastic changes I've made because I've always been super. I don't know. I changed a lot. I've always gone through different phases of life. I was always down to try new things on certain levels. Yeah. So I mean, they were surprised about the whole vegan thing, but other than that, I mean, nobody was really surprised about all of these changes and shit. Especially after I started, the ganjas. um, but yeah, so my whole life I did not like vegetables at all. I'd eat some fruits, but mostly tropical fruits. I like pineapples, mangoes, star fruit, and little stuff like that. When I would go to Jamaica and stuff, I'd get fruit and I'd eat fruits like that. But as far as being in America, nope. Couldn't get me to eat nothing. My mom would try and bribe me to eat my vegetables. And I would be like, nah, no. I'm good. I don't need the bread right now. I'm not eating. Nope. And it all started really because when I was in kindergarten, I was eating some baby carrots and I choked. And when you choke on something nasty, you get that weird gaggy feeling. At 6 years old, that's kind of traumatizing. And I was like, nah, I'm not eating a carrot again. What the nope. So a couple of months went by, maybe years. I don't know, because I really was not at all. And I tried some lettuce. And since my taste buds had already been so distorted, I was like, nope, not eating this either. So after that, I just wouldn't. I would eat my cheeseburgers with meat, cheese, that's it. Maybe barbecue sauce sometimes, but I didn't even like ketchup, relish, mayo, mustard, none of that shit. I still don't really like any of those. Yeah, I can't eat ketchup. I got maybe if it was homemade, I don't know, but not Heinz. Um, I just like barbecue sauce. I'd put barbecue sauce on everything. And I ate all that bullshit. I ate pork. I ate hot sausages. I ate chips. I used to have chips for breakfast at school. I ate in high school. I ate pizza pretty much every day because our school lunch menu was sucky. My tacos, just meat and cheese and taco shell. That's it. I was bad. I was not trying to do none of that. And my mom would always say to me, "Oh, when you get older, your mindset is gonna change and you're gonna start eating your vegetables." I was like, yeah, right. Not gonna be me. Vegans are crazy. And I remember junior year, my teacher, she was yeah, she was a vegan and she used to always bring us these weird vegan snacks that had no sugar. And I was just like, ew, what? Why do you do this? Why do you torture yourself like this? And because of the mindset I had, I thought the food that I was eating was real food. I mean, I knew vegetables were good for you, but I was like, I don't have any health problems, so I don't I'm good. I kind of had it good. I never went through an acne phase. Never gained. I gained a little bit of weight in my face and around my neck area, but that was after having a baby and all of that. So yeah, I thought I was fine. So I thought all these people were crazy, and nope. She told me her son was like that too, and I was like, damn, like why would you torture a child like that? He deserves fruit snacks. My mom would bring me organic fruit snacks home, and I'd be like, these have no sugar. I was legit addicted to sugar and dairy, meat, and all of that. And I don't know. I guess as I got around senior year, the end of junior year, well, junior year, senior year is really when I started researching stuff more. And then I came across what documentary was it? I think it was either Food Inc. or this documentary that this guy was doing about McDonald's. Super Size Me, that's what it's called. And I was like, dang, he ate McDonald's 3 days, I mean, 3 times out of the day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner for like months. And he got so big. And then I saw what they put, what pink slime was, and automatically I was turned off. I was just like, ew, like, I thought this was beef. Like, what the fuck? Like, that's nasty. But I always knew that they tasted like weird. Like, I wasn't even really like a beef person out in public because it just tasted different than what we had at home. And yeah, it was just like, I'll just get chicken nuggets. But yeah, so started doing the research, and I started slowly stop eating stuff. And up the street from my school, if you went to Nova, you know there's a Wendy's, a KFC, a Burger King, McDonald's, Dairy Queen, a pizza shop, a sub shop. Like, literally, it was all this junk food. So after school, we just go over there and eat. It's just like, okay, this is cool. Like, I don't really have to worry about nothing. So I started telling all of my friends, hey guys, you know, I'm thinking about going vegan. And they're like, girl, shut up. I felt so hurt. I'm like, damn, like, nobody believes in me. Like, I really gotta, you know, step my A game up. Like, what? Like, people were literally like, girl, please, like, be quiet. Like, I don't know, you talking crazy. And then I slowly started incorporating vegetables into my diet. Like, I started putting lettuce on my tacos and like little stuff like that, trying to eat tomatoes and salsa. And I was just like, okay, this isn't that bad. You know, started trying more things. Then I moved to New York, and my uncle was a vegetarian, well, vegan too. So it was kind of, I don't know, I saw it like on a day to day. He was healthy, you know, he was cool. It was just like, oh, okay, so this isn't like a white people thing. Like, I really thought being vegan was for white people, honestly. And that's also another slave mentality, because I didn't really like grow up eating soul food and like all of that stuff. I mean, we had oxtail, like brown stew chicken, a lot of fish, but you know, I didn't really eat like chitlins and sauce and ribs and stuff. Like, my mom didn't cook like that. And when I would come home telling her like, hey mom, can you make me some collard greens and neck bones? She was like, what? Neck bones? What's that? And I wouldn't try chitlins though, because I smelt them one day and I almost fucking threw up. I was like, I don't know how y'all eat that shit. Like, I would never, like, no, I mean, I guess you can say I'm dissing people who do, because that is, you're literally eating shit. Like, that's fucking disgusting. Like, you're eating intestines. Like, how? The shit's, too much. But, yeah, that's what happened. So, anyway, I'm babbling. But, yeah, so, I started trying things. Like, I tried some cabbage. I was like, oh wow, that's really not that bad. Tried some okra, some callaloo. I was like, oh, all right, I could eat this. I like callaloo a little bit before, but it had to be prepared a certain way. Like, I only really liked it raw, like mixed up or something. So yeah, I just started trying stuff that I've never tried before, and it's literally like I had that mindset like, ew, the texture looks weird. Like, it looks like this, it's like that. I'm not eating that. It was literally ignorance. Like, that's all it was. And yeah. So I started trying more things, and then one day, started hanging out with someone, and then yeah, I started learning a bunch of shit about, like, well, not shit, but I started learning things about like my spirituality. I learned what chakras were and healing stones. And a lot of that stuff was like around my house, and I didn't even really pay attention to it. My mom always had amethyst on her dresser, and I was just like, oh, she'd talk about the garden a lot, but I was just like, yeah, all right, whatever. You just talking your yachtiness. Like, I was not trying to, In ninth grade, though, that's when I really started to act like, I was a Jamaican or whatever, listening to reggae and trying to line up and dance up and all of that stuff. But prior to that, I really wanted to be a product of my environment. Like, I wanted to be hood. Not even hood. Like, I don't know. Like, the white kids, I went to a very diverse school. So, all the white kids would be like, oh, you're so ratchet. And then all the black kids would be like, you're so white. Like, okay. So, I really just, like, kind of floated around. Hung out with a little bit of everybody. But, yeah, my mind was kind of already open to all this. Like, when I would listen to Odd Future and, like, all my other little rock bands and all that, everybody was like, turn this shit off. So a lot of my personality really got buried because of me wanting to be accepted by my peers. Like, I used to get made fun of a lot for my choices. Like, oh, you act like a little white girl, you talk so proper, your eyebrows are so thick, like, you're so this, you're so that, da 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 da. Just like, oh my god. And I was tall too, so like my mom, like, if we couldn't find long jeans, then I just end up with high waters sometimes, and I'd roll them up and wear capris. Like, oh, you got on high waters? I'm like, bro, like, we've been in the mall for like 6 hours, and I can't find long pants nowhere that's my size, because I was really skinny too, so it was just like skinny, super skinny, really tall for my age, so it was just like I could not really find clothes for myself like that, or pants wise. So yeah, and then I didn't really get my first pair of Jordans and all that. Like, I really wanted to be cool. Like, I wanted to be down with the rest of the kids, and that took away from a lot of my personality. Like, I didn't even realize that a lot of the behaviors and ideals of the world that I had weren't even of my own. Like, I didn't grow up in a Christian household. I didn't grow up in a religious household like that at all, period. Like, my mom used to work a lot, so we didn't even really, like, we'd celebrate Christmas and like stuff like that, but it wasn't like oh, if you da da da, you're gonna go to hell. Like, she never said anything like that to us. It was just when I would be around other people and their families is where I would hear shit like that. But I was still like, if you swear to God, you're gonna get struck by lightning, and crossing fingers and all of that. So I'd be like, God, didn't get struck by lightning. Like, I was one of those kids. And I was very rebellious too. Like, you tell me one thing, I'm going to do the other, because I had to learn for experience. Like, everything that I went through, like, I felt like I had to learn through my own eyes, because if I didn't, I wasn't going to get the ideal lesson out of it, even though it took a couple of tries for some things. Like, I just wasn't going to get it. But back to my plant-based story. Okay. So one day, I was at my people's house, and we were, like, listening to chants and, just sitting there chilling and talking. And, when I was over there, I'd eat pretty good too. Like, I wasn't eating no bullshit. But like, once I got to that point, I really wasn't even eating any fast food or any bullshit like that anyway. I was mostly eating cooked food and like roti and like different stuff like that. Mostly, the food that I was used to, just incorporated with more vegetables. And I left that soul food alone. Um, so one day I'm sitting down and eating a ginger snap. And my birthday was right around the corner. And every year, like, I always go through some super transformational shit, like, around my birthday. So I'm eating the cookie, and then, like, I just not necessarily hear a voice in my head, but, like, I had this thought, I guess you could say. My higher self was talking to me. Somebody was talking to me. It's like, this cookie has eggs in it. And I was just like, and I put the cookie down. And then I was just like, all right, I think I'm ready. It was like, on my birthday, like, I'm going to do it. And I was working at this burger joint too. So it's just like, I told them, I'm like, it's been, it was a week. Like, I was gagging on salads. I was just like, I don't know what to eat. Like, thankfully, I had my aunt cook for me. She would cook me callaloo and rice and peas, like, every day, and okra and cabbage and different stew peas and stuff like that without meat. So I was good for the most part. I get my juices, I get my smoothies, and then I just started experimenting with more stuff. Like, ooh, what does dragon fruit taste like? What does papaya taste like? Then I fell in love with papaya. I'm like, oh my God. With lime and cayenne pepper, like, I fell in love. I would eat it all the time, every single day. I'd go into the Korean store and they'd be like, papaya, you want papaya? And I'm like, yeah, my papaya. But, yeah, so that's pretty much how I transitioned. Like, it was, came back from New York to Florida. All my friends are like, girl, you done turned into a 5%er. Da, 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 da. Like, I mean, I already thought like this, but now I'm just more comfortable speaking about it. Like, even, yeah, in high school, me and Brittany, yep, I'm gonna call you out. We would go to the bookstore and we would just go to the new age section and the religious section and just pull out a bunch of different books and just sit in the bookstore and just like exchange ideas and be like, damn, like, what do you think about this religion? What do you think about this? Like, da da da. And that's when we were like really questioning a lot of that stuff the most. And some guy came up to us and was just like, oh, I see you guys are like interested in da da da. And I was like, yeah. So he invited us to a mosque and we went and we were like, wow, like, this is completely different than Christianity. And you know, like sometimes growing up, when you only see like one certain point of view, it's just like, okay, boom, everybody thinks like this. But then when you see something new, it's like, oh shit, like whoa, everybody doesn't think like this. So it's like I kind of like grabbed myself out of the box. It was just like, no, like you're not doing that no more. Like you're getting older. Like you graduated high school. You're not around those people anymore. Like I really went through this drastic change after I graduated high school. And I think that's specifically because I wasn't really being myself around a lot of people as a whole. Being afraid of not, you know, being accepted and all that other stuff. Like I'd have some friends who, you know, they knew me, but to the outside world, like I had my mask and a certain face that I put on. Not even like a two-faced type of thing, but I was just super, always been super multifaceted. And like even at one point in time, I named like these personalities and emotions. Like my emotional blue side was Indigo. Indigo, what was her name? See, a lot of them died too, so it's just like I don't even remember like who they are. Genevieve Beau was like my, you know, sensual side, like the one who wants to, you know, all of that. Like it was just a couple of them, but yeah. So once I graduated high school, it was just like, okay, I don't have all of these like ideas and influences around me anymore outside of social media. And I had kind of left social media alone at that point. Like I was on Instagram a little bit, didn't have Facebook at all. And I just like abandoned Twitter and sorry, like the camera is just like, I don't know, making me see things. Like when I move my hand, it's just moving a little too fast for me. Yeah, I wasn't influenced by all these people anymore. So it was just like, damn, like I'm alone. I'm open. Like I had to like expose myself to a lot of pieces of myself that weren't me and that, you know, didn't belong to me anymore. Like it just wasn't for me anymore. And I got an acupressure treatment done. And after that, I just felt so much lighter. Like I was actually reacting to sounds and stuff. Like before, I was just kind of in like my numb phase, or it was just like, okay, like I'm here, you know. I'm happy, like I'm content, like not really happy, not really sad. It's just like I'm breathing, you know. And yeah, after I got that treatment, the window dropped and it made a really loud sound, and I was like, oh shit, like what's that? And everyone was like, oh shit, she's flinching. Like, yeah, like we were getting some reactions out of her. I was just like, damn, was I really that? Like, but you know, you don't really see it until you look at it from a different point of view. And that's what I started to do. Like, I've hurt a lot of people along this journey. And in the same process, I hurt myself too. So just know it's all love, no beef. I mean, if you got beef, that's not really my problem. But it was just a very like I'm gonna tell you this now. Growing and ascending and all of that is not gonna always be cherry blossoms and flowers and sunflowers and rainbows, like at all. Like once you face your shadow, that's when you can really start to walk into the light. But then again, that's where the, you know, confusion and the duality comes in at also, because you can't call, well, I can't tell you what to do, but it's just balance, you know. Like you have to face your shadow and come to terms with your ego rather than trying to bury it and live in the light all the time. Like Like, you have to know why you have these feelings and what triggers these feelings in order to actually transmute them and ascend from them. And I've just been putting myself through that. I've had people tell me, "Oh, you work too hard on yourself. Like, you're too focused on the past, or you're too focused on this." And it's not even necessary that I'm focused on the past, but it was still radiating in my present. Like, all of those situations that I was dealing with was still manifesting through a different face in my now. And it was just like, okay, well, I gotta figure out why I keep going through these experiences. So that's when I started digging deeper and all of that. And some people couldn't handle it. Um, yeah, like, real deal mad. Like, oh, you think about it too much. You work too hard on yourself. I'm like, so what am I, like, what else am I supposed to do? Work hard on somebody else? Like, no. And I never even really, like, I don't really like to call myself a healer and all that, because I still have a lot of healing to do. And I'm a student, and as well as a teacher. Like, I look at everything in life as a teacher and a student. Like, everybody's learning. The more we know, the less we know. So that's that. But yeah, I don't even know, man. Life is just crazy. Like, phases. Just happy to be here now. Cause boy, oh boy, I was putting myself on some paths that was just like, what are you doing? Like, what are you really trying to do? And it's just like, I just felt like I was, even though like I was like doing some outlandish life risking activities, in the back of my head, like, I knew I was protected. I knew it was for something bigger than what it actually was. And it was like, it was really like to gain this experience and be able to share it with other people, um, share it myself, and, like, realize like the power that I hold, and not even power, but just the strength and all of that. It's just, yeah, a lot. I had my first, my only, actually, I only had one child. And I had her when I was 15, when I was a freshman. It took me a while to come to terms with that too, but that also pushed me to like be where I am. And yeah, nobody really knew like the shit that I was struggling with and battling with on a day-to-day basis, which is what led me to becoming so numb, because it was just like more of it just kept happening and coming. It was just like, okay, fuck it. Like, I don't want to feel any of this shit. I don't want to be happy. I don't want to be sad. Like, I just want to live. And that's when I started, not necessarily using my body to feel, but yeah, like, I felt things more through my body than my mind. Like, because I guess I was just numbing myself so much. It was just like, you gonna feel it. You gonna feel this shit. So that's when I started feeling it. I was just like, oh, I can like glow up now. No more being a rock star. And yeah, I couldn't be more grateful. Yeah. Life, man, life. But I'm gonna sum this up, because y'all probably getting tired of me blabbling. I mean, not even, because I'm pretty sure somebody else is going through the same experience. And I'm going to tell you this now. We all have our own experience. We're all going through shit. Everybody has their own skeleton. And for one person to try and tell you that your skeleton is less than theirs or more than theirs or whatever, it's like, at the end of the day, you're still battling with it if you have it in you to project that onto somebody else. And a lot of people still project things onto us from their childhood that they don't want to face, and they don't realize that that's what they're doing, because they're so stuck and deeply rooted in that trauma. That's all they know. For a while, internalizing my pain was all that I knew. I wasn't expressive. Like, I didn't talk about my emotions. I wanted to not be friendly, not have friends, be a loner and all that. Like, that's really like my nature. Like, I'm fine being alone, but I idolized it like it was cool. Like, showing no love was, yeah. And then when I saw that look on other people's faces, I started attracting them more as well. And that's when I really like had to let go. Especially like the situationship that I was in, like prior to like another birthday. It was just like, I gotta Like, I really gotta listen. I gotta listen to myself. And that's when I knew that that voice that I kept hearing to tell me to do stuff or not do stuff was my intuition. And I just went from there. Research, studying, like if I hear a word or if I see something online, just open another tab and just go on Google. So what does I mean? What does that connect to? How does this connect to that? And then I connected to something. I was just like, oh wow, everything connects. As above, so below, like the trees. They grow high and they grow low. Even our hair. I was just thinking about that this morning when I was parting my hair and I was oiling it. I was like, damn, like you open up, like you can see like your hair follicles, and it's just like, what does it look like underneath that hair follicle? If these are the leaves and the branches that's like growing out of our heads, like what does it look like coming down? Neurons, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, but that's partially my story. I might write a book one day. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe I'll just do a cosplay. I don't know. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Got a little bit of insight about experimenting, and also if you're thinking about going plant-based and you want to change up your diet and you don't know how, experiment. Try, like when you go to the grocery store, you're getting your groceries, get one of something new and try it and see how you like it. And like get one zucchini, get like a handful of okra or less, or get a purple sweet potato instead of a regular sweet potato. Just one, just so that you can try it out. You don't have to waste your money in the process. If you want to start juicing, like go to a juice bar and like ask them if you can sample like one of their special juices or something like that. There's always ways to finesse the system. You just gotta know how. Yeah. What card is that? I'm about to do a reading for myself, so I'm about to go. Yeah, if you have any other questions about transitioning, how do you get on it? Like, it's not really a certain ignition start to get on this journey. Like, you just know when you're ready. Like, you just feel it inside of you, like, okay, something ain't right. And then once you start talking to yourself and listening to yourself and listening to the thoughts that flow to you, then you just know, like, oh, okay, cool. This is what's happening to me right now, okay? All right. Deuces.